Hey man, shout out to the underground community. I want to speak on a few reports that came out the last few days. Shout out to Lisa Bells. She brought this to my attention in our group hangouts. And the two reports came from Victor Conte. And the first report was that Demetrius Andrade submitted his forms. He signed the paperwork to start body testing for the upcoming bout with him and David Benavidez. But there was a delay on David Benavidez submitting his paperwork. So it made it seem like Andre, is not delaying anything, and he's already started his done his part to ensure that he's a clean athlete and that this fight coming up is going to be on an even playing field. And then the report comes out today that Conte states that PBC has no transparency with the drug testing, but it's his understanding, quote unquote, that both fighters have submitted their paperwork and that they will be drug testing for this upcoming bout. This is my personal thoughts on this situation because I've seen Victor Conte do this multiple times now. This is about maybe the third or fourth fight where I've seen Victor Conte in one sense put pressure on fighters, on a PBC fighter, to enroll in drug testing. Like he did this for the Bud Crawford and Errol Spence fight. Y'all can go back and look up, the reports. He'll put these tweets out. He'll say, Bud Crawford has already started, drug testing, submitted his forms, paperwork, or whatnot. But Errol Spence, he hasn't submitted his paperwork. It's delayed, such and such. And then some time will go by. And then he'll state that, both fighters have started drug testing. It's to my understanding that both fighters are drug testing for this fight. But this is the issue. The guy will, in one sense, confirm that PBC has no transparency, which in other words, you're not going to see any evidence that there's drug testing for these PBC fighters. You will not see evidence that Bud and Errol Spence drug tested. You will not see any evidence that Tank and Ryan Garcia, their last fight, drug tested. What was another big fight for PBC? Erickson Lubin and Jesus Ramos. Mario Barrios or Dennis Ugas. You're not going to go to the website and see no evidence of this. But then in another hand, you'll see Victor Conte stating that it's my understanding that these guys are drug testing. Why should we believe you? Why should we believe that? If there's no evidence, okay, if VADA can put on the website that Joe Joyce and Zilly Zhang drug tested for the last fight, if they could put that Shakur Stevenson and De Los Santos, if that's his last name, their upcoming fight, that they started drug testing, if they can put on the website that Katie Taylor and Chantel Cameron upcoming bout rematches drug testing, why should we believe you, Victor Conte, your word? And what is your understanding? Did VADA email you? This is what's confusing to me. That this guy gets involved in matters that has no transparency. There's no clarity. So when it's not clear to the public, we're supposed to take your word for it. You, Victor Conte, of all people, we're supposed to trust your word that Demetrius Andrade and David Benavidez are drug testing, even though there's no evidence on the website. We're supposed to believe you that Bud Crawford and Errol Spence drug tested for their last fight, even though there's no evidence. We're supposed to believe you that Canelo Alvarez and Jermell Charlo drug tested for their last bout, but there's no evidence. Does that make sense, boxing fans? This is why I don't give a shit about PBC. You know, if y'all have nothing to hide, then this should be evidence. This should be no type of withdrawing yourselves from being reported on the website if there's drug testing or not. You know, I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck about what Victor Conte is saying. Okay, I trust that when Vada is saying that two fighters are drug testing, and they can put them on the website, their picture up, and says they tested from this date to this date. That is evidence to me that Vada is monitoring these two fighters and that they're doing their part to ensure that these two athletes are clean and no one is going in there with an advantage. You know, that means that during training camp, they can pull up, randomly test these individuals for their blood and their urine from the time they start training camp up until fight night and even the day after or whatnot, you know. So that's what, like I said, this is why I don't care about the PBC like that, you know, because they can do whatever, they can pop dirty, and they're not going to report it. There's not going to be reports that just say Jermel Charlo or somebody failed a drug test, or Barrios or Dennis Ugas. I'm just throwing some names out there. Not saying that these fighters are dirty. That's not what I'm saying. Okay? But Top Rank is not hiding evidence that they're drug testing. Matchroom fighters, there's no there's transparency with them. Why does Top Rank and Matchroom go about it the right way, in the sense that we can see clear as day on the website when their fighters is being drug tested, but when it comes to PBC fighters, that shit got to be some secret society type stuff, some more Illuminati testing or some shit, man. I don't trust that. And I don't trust you, Victor Conte, that your word, that we're supposed to just believe you. It's my understanding that David Benavidez and Demetrius Andrade have both submitted their forms and they started drug testing, even though there's no transparency with the PBC and you guys are not going to see it on the website. But just take my word for it. No, thank you. No, thank you. You know, I don't get that shit, man, with the PBC. You know, if you're innocent, you'll have nothing to hide. You know, you should just be able to put on the website Demetrius Andrade and David Benavidez has enrolled in VADA testing for the upcoming bout for November 29th or whatever it is, whatever date it is after Thanksgiving. That's simple. That's simple. You know? And if one of them fails, that should be reported. You know, there was an adverse finding and such. Whereas it's unfair that you got certain athletes, it's been reported when they start drug testing, and then it's reported when they fail. You know, a cheat is a cheat. And I feel like cheaters should be punished, you know, for their actions. If they juicing up and VADA or USADA or WADA finds an adverse finding and reports it, they should be dealt with. But then you got PBC fighters. They're protected. They are protected. It's amazing to me that this guy, Victor Conte, of all people, he does this shit. You know, come on, y'all. Hey, I need to just, Demetrius Andrade submitted his form. How do we know that? You know, you want to put pressure on expose David Benavidez, and then you want to take up, say, oh, Demetrius Andrade already submitted his forms. Where is that at? Don't just put up a tweet. Put the evidence that Demetrius Andrade enrolled in the testing, and we waiting on David Benavidez. And then you're going to put out a new tweet, okay, Everything is good now. It's my understanding that they both submitted their forms. Yeah, man. I just really wish Victor Conte would shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. You know, every time I'm sitting there checking the website because I check this shit regularly. I know that a lot of you boxing fans don't, and that's cool, whatever. But I've been doing this for years. I've been checking the websites. I've been looking at upcoming fights. I don't just be, you know, looking at, oh, okay, yeah, man, I think this guy gonna win, or, well, yeah, I place a little bets in here and there, and I do my breakdown, prediction videos, all of that stuff. But behind the scenes, I'm looking like, okay, we got Demetrius Andre versus Dave Benavidez. Let's see if they enroll for drug testing. I'm checking. And then big bobblehead ass Victor Conte, when it pertains to the PBC fighters, knowing that there's no transparency, he the one is the one to speak out and say, oh, Errol Spence and Bud Crawford, they okay. They submitted their forms, to my understanding. Jamel and Canelo, they okay. Shut up. Shut the fuck up. I don't know what this guy's agenda is, man. It's like, I don't know what it is, but as a boxing fan who's fair and looking at this shit, I'm not taking up for David Benavidez. I'm taking up for Demetrius Andre. I'm not taking up for none of these ninjas. None of them. But why is it that Victor Conte keep doing this? He'll apply some pressure. He'll apply this pressure on these fighters. Come on, y'all. Enroll, submit these forms. We need to have a clean sport. And then a tweet or two later, okay, they're good now. What? What are you talking about? Where? Show me. Where's the evidence? So maybe I'm the only person that sees a red flag with the situation. It's already clear red flag with the PBC. No transparency with drug testing at all. Like I said, go to the website and you tell me what PBC fighter this year you've seen on that list. I dare you. As far as Victor Conte, man, like I say, just shut up. Shut the fuck up. That's my thoughts on this, man. This is why PBC is on their way out. It's just a lot of dirty shit surrounding the PBC. To go along with, taking advantage of the boxing fans over the years for pay-per-views, and giving us these shitty cards. Then they want to hurry up and do this shit this year because they know they're on their way out. They cashing out this year. So y'all leave y'all thoughts below. I'm out.